Okay, we're here. Okay, welcome. We're back. How you doing, everybody? This is Bruce here, traveling with Bruce, live from Rancho Mirage, California. You can see the background behind me. That background is of course, that's a photo done professionally with someone with a drone. But that actually is what kind of Rancho Mirage looks like from one of the angles that you can point at. And very accurately, you can tell, if I get out of the way, you can see here, golf courses and condominiums and, pathways and bunkers and palm trees and mountains in the background. It's kind of nice. This is not a fake photo. This is real. Today, it's a blue sky today, but we had some wind come and go, and we're windy again outside. And unfortunately, I think these winds are headed to Los Angeles, and the fires that they had over there, kind of issues. Yeah. Anyway, there you are. Welcome all to the show today, and thank you for joining us. Thank you for the thumbs ups. If you're hitting the thumbs up button, appreciate that. I wasn't on last week. TWB. We had a power issue here in our condo that we thought was just something minor. Jen and I we thought we had a remote control problem with a light switch in our master bedroom. And we have one of those ceiling fans, and it has a lamp underneath it. And that's the only lighting in the room that we have, actually. And you have a unit on the wall that's in like a little bracket, and you can take the unit out like a remote control, and you can push the lamp button and the light comes on. And if you push the fan button, the fans start to go. Well, in the middle of winter down here, when it's only mid 40s for the low and 65 to 70 for the highs, you don't need a fan to cool off. So, but you need light. It's sunrise is later in the morning this time of year, and sunset is earlier, so you kind of need a light. Anyway, we couldn't get the light to work. One day, they just stopped working, and so we thought, well, maybe the unit needs a new battery in there. It's like a TV remote, So we take a look at what the battery is inside the unit, thinking, well, it's a AA or a AAA. No. It's a fancy dancy little battery that's half the length of a AA battery. I've never seen anything like this before. And I thought, where can you go to buy a battery for a remote control that operates a ceiling fan? It took a while to click into this noggin, but it clicked in. Well, why don't you go to like a Home Depot or a Lowe's where they sell these units? And so we did that. There's a Lowe's a couple miles away from here. So, like a day or two after the incident, and we had no lighting in our bedroom, so we had to use our phones to get around at night, turn on our telephones for a little glow to get by on. We went and bought a new battery, brought it home, put it in the remote control, didn't work. That's not the problem. Oh no. So now what? And just at that time, our garage door, we started hearing a beeping sound. When your fire smoke detectors or batteries are kind of on the fritz, you'll hear these beeps every minute or two, and it's your battery warning you that, hey, well, we're getting these beeps out of the garage. And go to the garage, and standing there and wondering, where's this coming from? And every 30 seconds or so, beep, coming from the garage door opener. What the heck is this? And so we're scrambling. We're looking on the on YouTube videos. What does it mean when a garage door beeps, garage door opener beeps? Well, we're finding out that means that the battery is running low on your garage door opener. I think, oh my God, the garage door opener battery is running. I'm going, what battery? I never had an idea of a battery inside a garage door opener because our garage door opener is plugged into our ceiling There's an outlet in the ceiling of the garage. It's plugged in there. And yet I push the button on the wall by our door to open the garage door. Then when the beeping was going, the door would open and close. But after a few days, the beeping stopped. It's now a week. This is our first week here, like our first, say after our third day, this is up until Monday last week. This was happening on the weekend a week ago. When the beeping stopped from the garage door opener, the garage door opener didn't work at all. And now to open the garage door, I had to learn how to do that. And there's a cord you pull that disengages the garage door from the opener itself, and you can now lift the door. And with that coil spring that they have, it helps you. And then you get it up, and then you get your car out. Then you can close the door yourself. So we called our rental agent that we used to rent this condo and said, we got this garage door problem. And we thought we could still, we weren't sure about the light in the bedroom yet. We were still working on that one, but the garage door thing, we figured we better get that looked at. So our agent arranged to have a garage door person come out. He came out on the Friday, last week Friday. That's now 10 days ago. And he's looking at it, and we're telling him what's going on, and he's going, you don't have any power going into this garage door opener at all. Like, it's plugged into the ceiling. You got an outlet up there. There's no power from that outlet. That outlet is dead. Your entire, all the outlets in your garage are dead. So we went outside and looked at the switch, the electronic switch box, circuit breaker. We checked the circuit breakers. They're all fine. They're all on. No issues. Nothing popped. What the heck is going on? He says, I'm going to disconnect your battery cables from inside the unit. I said, what does this battery do? Why is there a battery in a garage door opener that's plugged into the ceiling? He's going, you're in California, you see. And in California, they occasionally have little things known as earthquakes. And everyone is waiting for the big one. And the big one is going to knock all power out of virtually any city near the earthquake zone. This has happened before. He says, so in California, you cannot install a garage door opener unless it has an emergency battery backup system, which is good for about 3 days. And you can open and close your door on battery power only, but not AA or AAA or 9-volt little batteries. You need a battery that's kind of the size of a box like this. You need a box like this that has to be double the width. So it's like a 4-pound battery. And that will work for 3 days, opening and closing the door. So if there's an emergency and there's no power, you can get out of your house, or you can get your car out of your garage if the door isn't broken and all that sort of stuff. That's California law. But after 3 days, the battery will die out. And as it's dying, it beeps. And we're going, it beeps. And when it stops beeping, your battery is dead, and it will not recharge automatically when the power is restored. You have to replace it because it's one of these acid type batteries that once you drain it, you've killed it. Okay, so he says, you've got to call an electrician. You need an electrician to fix what's wrong here because you don't have any power in your garage. And then Jen and I are putting 2 and 2 together going, we don't have any power in our master bedroom. Our light doesn't work even with a new battery. And then we figured out we don't have any power in our guest bedroom either. It doesn't turn on the light in there either. So we're running out of places where electricity is functioning in this unit. We didn't even know it. The kitchen's fine. My computer's fine. our TV is working. So there's certain areas, but we got a problem. So we called our agent and we told him what the garage guy told us. And the good news was that our real estate agent, who we've dealt now with for 3 years, great guy. He said, no problem. I will call an electrician that we use and I'll send him out to your unit. Well, that was on, that was on Monday. That was by Tuesday.
No, the electrician came on Monday.
Well, we weren't on the air Monday. We didn't have electricity on Monday night.
Oh, yeah,
So he actually came here on Tuesday. So when I didn't do a show last week, we were dealing with issues that we had no idea what we were dealing with. And it turned out that the issues were actually quite serious. And so we found out when the electrician came by, he knocked on the front door. We welcomed him in and we tried to tell him the story. But he seemed to be in a bit of a hurry and really didn't want to hear the whole story. And I've been telling you this story for 11 minutes now. He didn't want to have an 11-minute story. He's not going to ever be a viewer of my channel. He's just not patient enough. In any event, we went into the highlights of the garage door. He said, well, let's take a look at the garage door. So we went right into the garage. And he's looking at the garage door, hits the button, nothing happens. We open the door manually for him. He goes outside, looks at the circuit breaker panel. Everything's fine there. And he says, I'm going to do some snooping around, because we also mentioned at that time, we also don't have power in our bedroom, master bedroom, and the guest bedroom. Can't turn the lights on. We've replaced the battery in the remote control for the fan. That wasn't it. Okay, so he said, I'm gonna snoop around a little bit, and I'll let you know what's going on. So we came back in here to the living room area, and about 20 minutes later, he knocks on our front door, and we let him in again. He says, I think I found the problem. I said, oh, okay. He says, and it's a serious problem. I said, oh no, it's a serious problem. So we go back to the garage, and he shows us a wall outlet that is against the wall between our condo and the condo next to us. He says, this plug, the plug in here, you have a refrigerator plugged into this plug? I said, yeah, it's the landlord's refrigerator. He's got one in the garage. It's been plugged in the whole time. He said, this plug has started to melt. M-E-L-T, melt. I'm going, oh my God. He said, this is serious. He says, I have contacted my 2 employees that work for my company, 2 other junior electricians, and I've told them to pack up where they are, and they were at some kind of a renovation job. Pack up, get in the van, get over here. You're going to work on this problem now. He says, I'm not waiting until tomorrow to get this problem fixed. We're fixing it now, today. This was Tuesday. So the 2 guys came over, and the door knocks, and the first guy had left to get something and was coming back later. These 2 younger guys showed up. We took them into the garage, showed them this is the issue, and the lead guy is on the phone to his boss, who was here. And he's saying, yeah, it's in the garage. Yeah, okay. It's beside the fridge. Oh, yeah, okay. And he comes in the garage. He sees the box. He looks inside. Yeah, I see it. Okay, yeah, got it. He hangs up and he looks at it, and he says to his friend, come on over here, his fellow electrician. Take a look at this. He says, I've never seen anything like this before in real life. I've only ever seen this on the internet. It's like the wires were melting inside the box. We were faced with a potential serious fire hazard between the 2 walls of the condo we're in and the condo next to us, because the building that we're in have 4 condos connected to each other. So there's 4 of us in a bigger overall building, all ground floor only, no basements. We're all on a big concrete slab, and then we have these condos built between us. And he had never seen this in real life before. So he too said, oh yeah, this is serious. And so they had to rip out the box, the wiring there, the wiring to another outlet, and reinstall it with the brand new 2025 quality plugins, replacing the 1979 wiring and whatnot over there. And the master electrician, he showed up a few minutes later, and he was telling him what to do and everything. And it took about 2 hours. They got the job done. And the good news is it's now been a week, 6 days, and everything is fine. And miraculously, the moment they replaced those circuits over there in the garage, the lights turned on in the bedroom, and the lights worked in the guest bedroom, and a whole bunch of plugs in the walls that were also dead, all are alive and well. So we have averted disaster. I have no idea what the bill is because I don't have to pay the bill. I'm just a tenant of a condo. So the owners have that one. But I can tell you that the two new plugins in the garage are beautiful. They're as pretty as Greg Maddox. They're beautiful. They also have a little red button on the bottom of the plugins. And there's two plugins. You can plug two items in at a time. And there's a little red button on the bottom, and that's some kind of a
GFI.
What's that called?
A GFI, the ground fault interrupter.
GFI, ground fault interrupter. So
it trips itself.
It trips itself off so that it won't have a fire. So that's great. So anyway, this is giving us comfort. The fact is that we're driving, Jen and I, we're driving around town now in a Tesla. And we've upgraded from the Model 3 small sedan that we had for the first 2 weeks. Now we're driving around town in a Model X. That's the one with the gull wing doors, you know. So we have a 5-year-old or 4-year-old Model X that we're driving around. And we plug it in. When we come home, we plug it in from the outlet that was replaced. No issues whatsoever. So the electrician knew that you plug the Tesla in and say, yep, no problem. That won't be a problem. It's a 110 outlet. No issues. Well, we sure didn't want to have a fire in a condo we were renting with a rental Tesla in it at the same. We didn't want that. That would be a problem. And so thankfully, all was resolved. So last Monday was somewhat stressful. And so I just was not able to really get a show together for you. I just wasn't in the frame of mind to think about, let's talk about travel. I was thinking more about, let's talk about fire prevention. But at the time, I didn't know how bad it was. And well, that was really something. Anyway, here we are. We're alive and well, and we're okay. And we did not have a fire here. There's enough fires going around for the firemen to worry about. They don't have to have a condo fire in Rancho Mirage. And so we're just fine. And so, sorry for missing you last week, but we're A-okay. Thank you for popping in, Sharon. Number 3 tonight. Hi from snowy and cold central New Jersey. Welcome. Kirk Brunson. Hi, Bruce and TW family. Kirk from New York City is here. I'm at work. I'm on lunch right now. And I'm the number 6 thumbs up for you. Thank you. Christina, I missed you so much this morning that I'm pretending to travel with you. Uncle Bruce. Christina is a viewer from my other channel. She can't stand it. We'll be there. I'll be with you tomorrow for sure. I can't wait to get started tomorrow. Stephen Butler, number 8. Hi, Stephen. Tom Kaufman is here. Hi, Uncle Bruce. Jeff Dinan from Melbourne, Australia, in the house. Good day, Bruce and TWB family. Sharon, the electrician sounds like a New Yorker, which I say with love and pride. Bo Bergman, ground fault circuit interrupter. Thank you, sir. My wife, Jennifer, is a former property manager, and she knows all these terms. I just call it the red thingy that's on the thingy that you plug stuff into thingy, and it kind of goes pop. That's what it does. Anyway, it's to protect you from electrical shock. I'm a master electrician too. Thank you, Bo. Because without you guys, this world wouldn't operate. Thank you so much. Stephen, we are glad you two are safe. Oh, say here. Bo, it's freezing cold here in Orlando. Oh, no. And I'm getting on a cruise ship Friday morning heading to the deep Southern Caribbean. Gotta get out of town, man. You got to get away from those harsh winter conditions of Orlando. Right on, Bo. Thank you for popping in here. Appreciate the commentary. Yeah, how cold is it in New Jersey, Sharon, if you're still here? Kate PM, hi, Bruce and everyone, home with a fractured foot, so I'm able to catch the live show. Kate, I'm really, I'm really glad you're here, but not under these circumstances. But hopefully you will get better very quickly, and you'll be okay. Thank you for joining and saying hi to me. Yes, if you're watching live, say hello. If you're able to hit the thumbs up button, please do. If you're watching on the rerun and you're still here, please hit the thumbs up button. Thank you. Now, today's show, I was debating the last couple of days, what am I going to talk about today? And then I came up with the topic. Actually, it came to me. Sharon, it's currently 17 degrees. We'll be in deep freeze through Thursday. It's cold in Jersey. I was trying to figure out what to talk to you about, and I got the topic handed to me on a silver platter yesterday, and then I got another update on the story today to tell you about. And I just want to show you something. You might, if you've been here long enough, you'll remember this. I did an episode on this channel a number of years ago with two really great guys. The three of us were on the air together for a show. We called it Three Amigos live on TWB. There's Tony and Don and myself, and the three of us did a live broadcast together way back. This has got to be 2018, maybe. I don't know how far back. And Tony with Lolita Loco and Don with Don's Family Vacations. And today's story, I'm concentrating more on Don than on Tony, although I say hi to Tony, of course, and congratulate Tony on the growth of his channel. Also, Don has had great success as a YouTuber. But here was the story that caught my eye yesterday, where he popped up a video saying, I missed my flight. And this was a shocker for Don and a shocker for me. And then I got a phone call today from a buddy of mine saying, hey, did you see those two videos that Don did? I said, yes, I saw them. And he was outraged, and I was outraged myself. Anyway, what am I talking about? If you know about Don's Family Vacations channel, then you may or may not be aware of the stories, the two videos he's popped in the last 48 hours. But it's a shocker of a story to me. I couldn't believe it, and I'm really upset about it, and I'm really disappointed, and I'm also frustrated for for Don, excuse me, and anyone else in this situation, because this is such nonsense. What's going on here? And there's almost nothing anyone can do about it. And this is what really bugs me about the story. Anyway, that's complete BS what happened to him, Bo was saying. There you go. Well, here's the story. Don lives in he lives in Ottawa, Canada, in Ontario, our nation's capital. And it's not uncommon for Don to fly to Toronto from Ottawa and then connect onto a flight to wherever he's going to, especially if he's going into the USA or if he's going perhaps to Europe. And of course, Don is a travel agent, has been forever. He's a YouTuber. He's a cruise specialist. He organizes group cruises all the time for his YouTube followers. He assists in getting people onto cruises, whether they're going with him or on their own. And so Don does a lot of traveling. He travels to the U.S. for all of these travel shows, these travel conventions, and for years and years and years. And so Don is a frequent flyer, not a surprise. Anyway, Don arranged a flight from Ottawa to Toronto, and then from Toronto to, I believe, Houston, Texas. And he was going to go from Houston to Galveston to catch a cruise, catch a ship. And he also had made arrangements that the flight from Toronto to Houston, which would take 4.5 hours, something like 4.5 hours, that flight, he was on business class instead of economy class because he had enough points amassed as a frequent flyer to upgrade his seat to a business class seat. And, that is a huge difference if you've ever traveled on business class. You know what I'm talking about. And if it's a 4 or 5 hour flight, boy, you're going to love that. And so I guess what happened was he landed in Toronto. I'm assuming what would have happened is that he would have grabbed his baggage from the luggage area, domestic flight. He would then have gone to the Air Canada check-in counter. He would have checked in with his baggage. And I think he travels with one suitcase. I think he has maybe a backpack and a suitcase. That's all he needs. He travels by himself. And so he would have checked in his bag. He would have then given a boarding pass. He would then go to go through security, like everybody else. And from there, he would have gone into the USA Homeland Security area. Now, in Canada, in the major cities like Montreal, Toronto, maybe Winnipeg, certainly Calgary, Edmonton, and Vancouver, at least those cities, there are USA border points in the airport for Canadians flying to the US or anyone flying to a US destination from these Canadian cities. And it's kind of handy because you enter the USA in Canada and you get on your flight, and when you land in wherever you're landing, Las Vegas, Los Angeles, Miami, Houston, New York, you're just getting off the plane as if you were flying a domestic flight now. You're landing in America, pre-cleared. The entire plane has been pre-cleared into the USA. And when it works well, it works very, very well. And the United States does exactly the same thing in, I believe, Nassau in the Bahamas. If you get on an airplane in Nassau to fly to Florida or anywhere in the US, you are clearing US Homeland Security at the Nassau airport. And when you get off your plane in Miami, you're just in the regular domestic area of the airport. Again, very handy stuff. So this is a reciprocal thing, although I will say that Canadians, I have not yet found for Canada the ability to clear Canadian customs into Canada from a U.S. destination. LA doesn't have it. Palm Springs doesn't have it here. Vegas doesn't have it. So I don't even know if there is one in the continental U.S. But we do so much flying back and forth that for the American system, literally the American government, Canadian government have made a deal so that these Homeland Security people are stationed in Canada. They live in Calgary, they live in Vancouver, they live in Edmonton, whatever city, and then they go to work at the airport, and they're inside an area of the airport sealed off from the rest of the airport, and that is USA licensed territory, as long as this reciprocal agreement lasts, and Canadians and Americans and anyone else pre-clears U.S. customs at the airport. So Don clears security and goes to the lineup for U.S. to clear into the States, which, every time it's like it's a no-brainer. It's been like this for 20 years at least that I know of. And so Don comes, he's next in line, come on up, hands the guy his passport, shows him his boarding pass, I guess. It would have been on his phone, whatever. And the guy's, looking up at the information on the computer once you scan the passport, the usual stuff. But he asks Don, he says, Don, we're going to ask you to go with this agent into the additional screening room. And Don goes, yeah, okay, I'll go. So he follows a second agent into a screening room, and he goes into a little hallway, and there's several rooms, and he's inside this office, and he's sitting in a chair. Have a seat, and he hands the guy his passport, and the guy says, "I'll be right back." And so, like 10 minutes later, the gentleman comes back and says, "This is routine. We're just going to ask you some additional questions. What's your purpose of going to the U.S.?" So he and Don are having a chat for 20 minutes, and Don is answering every question. "I'm a travel agent. I'm going on a cruise. I'm on the so-and-so ship with Princess Cruise Line. I think it's Princess Cruise, out of Galveston. We're going to go to Costa Maya. We're going to go to some... Have you ever taken the cruise before?" I said, "Yes, I have." He said, "Why would you take the same cruise again? If you've done it before, why are you..." He said, "I'm a travel agent, and I'm doing a group cruise with a bunch of my clients, and I'm meeting them there. And that's why I've taken a number of cruises." How many cruises has Don taken in 10, 15 years? 70, 60, 100? I don't know. All kinds of questions about what he does for a living, and this and that. And they said, "Okay, I'll be right back." And he takes Don's passport and he leaves. And Don is sitting in the office for an hour. And the guy comes back and it says, "Come with me." And they go into another room, and Don's luggage is standing there. They grabbed his bag. They grabbed his bag from the luggage area. "And is this your bag?" "Yep. We'd like to open it and check it out." "Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, open my bag. Look at it." So they opened his bag. They went through his baggage and every piece of underwear and every sock like a fine-tooth comb. What on earth they were looking for, nobody knows. You got to figure they had to have had a dog sniff it already, but not in front of him. And they closed the bag back up, and there was nothing to worry about in there. And back to the office, and "We'll be back with you." And then another agent comes in, and it's now 2 hours. And then asks him the same bunch of questions. They now want to inspect his telephone. They want to inspect his cell phone. And he says, "Well, what information do you want from my phone?" They said, "We want to see the emails that you have done." "Oh, okay." So he pops up the phone and shows them the emails, and they're looking through his emails. And then they give him his phone back, and then they leave. And another hour goes by. He missed his flight. His flight left without him. His bag is sitting out there in some office somewhere. He's in this little room. No one is saying a damn thing to him. And after 5 hours in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, at the international airport, they're done with it. To say, "Okay, you're good to go. Sorry you missed your flight, but go to the Air Canada counter just over there, and you can make other arrangements." No compensation, no nothing. He goes to the Air Canada counter, tells them what's going on, and his bag stays in customs because he is intending to go into the U.S. They kept his bag. They would not give it to him. So he had to make other arrangements to get into the U.S. Well, there were no more flights. He missed the last flight into the U.S. for the day. He has to come back tomorrow. They don't have any business class seats available for him using his points. He might have lost his points. I'm not sure if he's lost them. Air Canada might give him his points back because, of course, Air Canada left Toronto with an empty seat in business class because Don wasn't in it. So I don't know what the deal is there. Don had to find a hotel. So he finds a hotel at the airport. He stays at a hotel at the airport and gets a flight out the next day. And the only seat they can give him that they told him they could give him was a back at the plane middle row seat, like a middle seat at the back of the plane. Don is completely confused as to, what the hell did I do? Why is this going on? And one of the agents said to him, "Well, we do these random checks from time to time. You never know who it's going to be. But it's possible that you were flagged because of how often you travel through the United States." Don's going like, "Really? And you needed 5 hours to figure this out?" That's the kicker. is you can screen someone additionally, certainly, but in today's day and age, with the computer systems and all of the tracking systems that the U.S. Homeland Security has at its disposal, every point of entry and exit would have easily been trackable. And they have a cooperation agreement with the Canadian government. So the American government and the Canadian government can share when people cross the border, whatever direction they're going, whether they're Americans or Canadians, it doesn't matter. 5 hours, knowing that this guy is going to miss his flight. They absolutely knew that they were going to cause him to miss his flight and told him nothing. And no one was there to, sorry. Had he known 3 hours earlier, before they let him go, that he was going to miss his flight, he could have already been using his phone to maybe make other arrangements. I don't know. I have no idea. Absolutely ridiculous. There's no recourse. There's nothing he can do. There's nowhere he can go to sue anybody. There's no lawyer that'll touch this with a 10-foot cattle prod. Because if you attempt to sue the U.S. government, your law practice is now suspect to investigation. I mean, how dare you even complain about the king? Don't complain about the king. Absolutely powerless. He's absolutely helpless. I was just so amazed at this nonsense that took place here. What was that, Jen?
So frustrating.
So frustrating. Yeah, so frustrating. I mean, they could have, when they found out he was a YouTuber, just go into your office and go to Google. Google Don's Family Vacations. Go to YouTube and look up Don's Family Vacation. You'll find a channel with hundreds of videos over years and years and years and years and years and years. I mean, instantaneous credibility is right there from a third party. It's not like he made all this stuff up this morning. You're a criminal, and now you have to prove your innocence is the name of the game. And they didn't tell him what he's a criminal of. You're just a frequent traveler into the U.S. That's it. Absolutely unbelievable. I just amazed by what's going on over there. Ms. M is here, by the way. Thank you for joining me. Number 18 on the thumbs up. Sharon, my kid has in-laws in Canada and has had some Air Canada horror stories over the past couple of years. Robert, sorry I'm late. Sharon, although these have just been with connections, not with customs or immigration. Sharon, I love pre-clearance into the USA. We take advantage of that when we fly home from Bermuda. Ms. M, yes, we missed you last week. Glad it was fixed on the power thing. Thank you. Sylvia, number 18, glad you and Jen are safe from the fires. Very cold here in Greensboro, North Carolina. 25 degrees. That is cold for you. Cindy, at least Don made it to the cruise ship barely, but saw his video early today. I got to tell you about that. So he says to not to me, but he says to all of you last night, he made this video last night, the first one, about his experience at the Toronto airport. And he says, I sure hope tomorrow morning I can make my flight because my cruise leaves tomorrow, he says. And he was supposed to get to Galveston the night before. He was supposed to be in Houston. He's probably going to spend the night in Houston, then go to Galveston the next morning. So this morning, he goes to the airport. He does a video today, which I caught 20 minutes after he posted it. Just my luck, I happened to catch it. He got stopped again. He went to the Homeland Security lineup to clear customs. They pulled him in again into the same damn room, and they did the same thing to him today. They did it to him yesterday, and they did it again today. And there is where I'm pissed off, because this now is something ridiculous going on here. Absolutely ridiculous. What is happening here? His bag, they inspected it again. They opened his bag a second time in front of him. He says, I don't understand why you guys are opening my bag. You had it all last night. You took the bag from me when I checked in yesterday. You kept it overnight in your facility, and now you're looking at it again. What are you doing? Without calling him incompetent, because you don't want to upset them, he's just going, I don't get what you're doing. I don't understand what's going on here. Why are you guys being so, I don't know what to say. We know what to say out here, but he can't say it to them to their face, because they have ultimate power to do whatever the hell they want. They have no fear. They have no oversight, and there is the problem. And it's in Canada too. Canadian border agents have absolute authority to do whatever the hell they want, and no one can stop them. And yet, in Canada, there are thousands of complaints filed by travelers every year, mainly Canadians who are returning to their own country, with over-the-top aggressive agents who think they run the world, and the union that represents these guys keeps them from getting fired. It's absolutely disgraceful. There are very few avenues, but apparently there is a parliamentary committee looking into it. But no politician runs for office in this country that says we're going to clamp down on abusive behavior by immigration officials to our own Canadian citizens. No one has the guts to do it. Because if you're the only politician that runs to try to get elected as prime minister or something like that, and you don't succeed as the prime minister, guess what happens to you and your family when you want to cross the Canadian border? These guys they remember. It's absolutely scary what's going on. So Don today was held up for 2 hours this time. 2 hours. He made his flight by 10 minutes in the Toronto airport. He made it by 10 minutes. The flight was 20 minutes late in taking off. He needed absolute perfection in Houston to get off the flight in Houston, to get his bag, to catch a connection, to catch a ground transportation to Galveston. He couldn't get on the Princess buses that left Galveston for the ship because they were all sold out. They wouldn't let him on. So he had to hire an Uber. He hired an Uber driver to drive him to Galveston. He made the ship with 10 minutes to spare on the ship. And today's video came from the cabin on board the ship to let us know what's going on. So I recommend watching his 2 videos to listen to him personally tell you what happened to him. It was absolutely ridiculous. Yesterday was bad enough. That was 5 hours. That was either incompetence, vengeance, or something worse. Or is that it? Is that as bad as it gets? I don't know what it is. Incompetence would have to be number one, because you don't need 5 hours to verify the legitimacy of a traveler. This guy has no criminal record. He's never been in jail. He's a travel agent. He has the documents to prove it. He's a YouTuber. You can check that out in 15 minutes. What were they doing for 5 hours? Watching his videos? Like, what the hell's going on? But today, to do it again, after what he went through yesterday, he's now asking, what's going to happen when I come home? What happens when I come back to Canada? Are my Canadian agents waiting for me, quote unquote? Have the Canadian agents been tipped off by the American agents? This guy's a troublemaker? Like, what's going on? So he's going to find out when he comes back. I have no idea what's going on. Scary stuff. Just so scary, and such a totally unprofessional, just really pathetic. Anyway, there it is. Thank you for being here, everybody. Let's get through these comments. Cindy, yes, at least Don made it to the cruise ship, but barely. Saw his video early today. Kevin Chapman, Bruce, number 22. He's the Kevin, the author himself. Hunkered down here in the snow in central New Jersey today, Bruce. 3-dog night next couple of nights. Hope Jen is feeling well and recovering. Let's go Islanders. We are doing great, all as well. Sharon, did Don have trip insurance? I assume that would cover that kind of trip interruption, or it doesn't justify any of it, but this is why we have an Alliance annual plan. No, I don't believe he's certainly not going to be compensated for the loss of his business class. That's not going to happen. Cindy, Dan does have insurance, but I'm not sure that this instance will be covered by interruption. Alliance is very good insurance, though, says Cindy. Sylvia, he got pulled again. What the hey? I saw the first video. Oh, my God. Sharon, does Don have a common last name? Perhaps they confused him with someone. Don Terrace. No. Don Terrace. Cindy, I get Alliance insurance all the time when I travel, says Cindy. Sharon, the singer Olivia Rodrigo had a story about being stopped at the border in Canada because they confused her with someone on their watch list named Olivia Rodriguez, and she's Olivia Rodrigo. And isn't that something? Sharon, she's 21 years old and well-known. It should have never have happened. Stephen Butler, if you're going to go on a cruise out of Galveston, spend the night in Galveston. If you're going in an early, Galveston has plenty of hotels close to the port. You don't want to be stuck in Houston traffic. Good advice, Stephen. Cindy says, Sharon says, Cindy, I would guess that Don's extra expenses that were not caused by his action will likely be covered by Alliance. And Sharon, Sylvia, Bruce and Jen, you better watch out when you go back to Calgary in May, laughing out loud, watch out. Do they have it in for YouTubers? Is that the problem? Are they looking for YouTubers? He didn't mention anything about a YouTuber. He didn't mention anything about questions about being a YouTuber. He didn't seem to mention anything about being a travel agent. They were just asking generic questions of this guy again and again and again and again and again and again. 5 hours yesterday, 2 hours today, 7 hours within 24 hours in Toronto, Ontario. In Toronto, what is going on at the Toronto airport with those U.S. Customs guys or those Homeland Security guys? What is their freaking problem? I do not know, and I don't know where you go to get the answer. I have no idea. Of course, the question now on Canadians' minds is, now that there's somebody new in town in Washington, this guy seems to be all in a knot about how bad Canada has been to America and how expensive Canada is because America has to protect Canada from invasion by bad people, and maybe Canadians are no longer welcome through the borders. I don't know. I just know down here where I am, half the people down here are from Canada. I'm spending a lot of money to be here. I don't know what the problem is. I can tell you that no Canadian down here feels uncomfortable or unwelcome. I can tell you that people around these parts and through Scottsdale, Arizona, and Phoenix itself, and Tucson, and Florida, and you name it, the southern states, they very much appreciate Canadians coming on down for the winter. They certainly have enjoyed our company since the 60s and 70s and 80s and all the way up. So I don't know. I have no idea what's going on. Sharon, was Don traveling solo, just spitballing ideas, but it did seem suspicious that he travels alone? He always travels alone. He's not married. He's a single guy. He's done hundreds of trips. He travels to Europe. He travels to the Orient. He goes to Mexico. He's a travel agent. Cindy, yes, Don was traveling solo this trip. Sharon, Cindy, thank you. Yep, there you go. Yeah, Don travels alone all the time. And I have no idea what is going on, especially with the second one. That's the really disturbing one. It's bad enough the first one took 5 hours. The second one today took 2 hours. And he said, I came early to the airport just in case. He said, I could have come here with 2 hours to go, but I came here with 3 hours to go before my flight was departing. I came super early. All I needed was a boarding pass. My luggage is already pre-checked. And so he got his boarding pass, and then he was immediately hauled off by the Homeland guys. So what the heck is going on? Sylvia, shared the question about traveling solo. People travel all the time solo. What's the big deal exactly? And it's not like he booked it last minute, and it's not like he's going without luggage. He's going with luggage. This is a cruise that he booked months ago, which he does with group cruises. He books group cruises a year in advance. So I don't get it. Again, if you're border security and you're looking for the wrong kind of people to not allow into your country, I get that. Totally understand it. Absolutely makes sense. But if everything checks out, and if everything is so easy to verify, that'll check out. I mean, the running of his passport alone shows every single trip in and out of Canada, every single trip in and out of the U.S. That right there is everything you want.
They were checking a bag that had been in their security.
They checked the bag that they had overnight in their possession again. I mean, there is incompetence all over the place. Or vengeance. There's someone with a beef against Don. at the Toronto Homeland Security Department. So that to me is something really illegal going on, something really bad happening over there, and it requires Homeland Security to figure it out and weed out the troublemaker, because there's somebody creating a nightmare for Don, and I don't know what the hell is going on there. But who do you call? Who do you talk to? Does Don pick up the phone and call the head of the Homeland Security Department and put in a complaint? Is there a complaint department? Anyone going to listen to this guy? I mean, really, I have no idea. I don't get it. Obviously, if you're well connected, if you have a connection somehow through your family to a senior government or official of some kind, maybe you have a hope of someone figuring out through the channels what's going on. But even then, the union backing these guys, remember, these Homeland Security people are all likely unionized as well. They've got protection and immunity complete right up to the top. So Canada has it. I'm sure America has it. I have no idea. I have absolutely no idea. I'm terrified for him and anyone ever in that position. I really am. I'm just terrified. I can tell you that my experience with Homeland Security people and customs guys has been nothing but wonderful. I've had absolutely no issues ever with U.S. people. Canadian customs coming back to Canada, never an issue. You want to look at my bag? Look at my bag. Go ahead. I'm just so glad to be, landing or getting ready to get out of the winter. Ask me whatever you want to ask me. Go right ahead. I'm happy to spend time with you. Make it as easy and as smooth as possible so that you can go after those who you need to go after. That's fine by me. I don't know. Kid Freshie is here saying hi. How you doing? Welcome to the program. Thank you again, everybody, for hitting the thumbs up button for us today. Really appreciate you doing that. We have 25 thumbs up so far today. Thank you very much all for that. And thank you, those of you who are watching on the rerun. Every week, I seem to double or triple my thumbs up numbers. Whatever I get from my live audience, then I get double that again on the rerun over the next several days. So thank you, all of you on the rerun who watch my show. You can't always watch me live. I totally get you. Maybe Don looks like a gangster. Does this guy look like a gangster to you? Is this a troublemaker? There you go. Look at that face. That's guilt right there, isn't it? Is that what it is? My gosh, I tell you, we love Don. I've had the pleasure, as I say, to talk to Don on a 3-on-1 there with our buddy Tony from Lido Loca. I've had the pleasure to talk to Tony on the phone a couple of times. I'm not sure if I talked to Don on the phone, but I know we did the live. I think I was with Don and Tony twice or 3 times on the Three Amigos live on the air, and it was great. I know that Tony needed help. This is going back now to 2018. Okay, 2018. I started on this channel August 2017, and in January of 2018. YouTube announced that they were changing their monetization program, and my channel was monetized, Tony's was monetized, Don's was monetized, and they came out with a new edict and said that in 30 days, any channel that doesn't have 1,000 subscribers and also doesn't have at least 4,000 hours of watch time will be demonetized and will not be monetized until you reach those levels. And even then you had to apply to be monetized. And there was no grandfathering in. So I was monetized with 225 subscribers and about 2,000 view hours. Tony was monetized with 650 subscribers, something like that. And Don was monetized with something like 12 or 1,300 or 1,500 subscribers. So Don he was the big guy back in 2018. But between the three of us, he was the big guy. And Tony had reached out to Don. They had talked already. And I wasn't aware of this, but I found out later that Tony called Don and said, hey, I got to get 350 subscribers like really fast. What do I do? And Don says, I'll mention your channel on my channel. I'll tell my viewers to subscribe to your channel and give you a boost. And he did that the next couple of shows. And within a week, Tony went from 600 something to like 1,100 subscribers. He was in the clear. Now, I didn't know that to do anything like that. I didn't know anyone else in YouTube at all. I was in our house in Creston, British Columbia, 225 subscribers. It started in August. Now it's January. I got to get 775 subscribers in like a month. How the hell am I going to do that? It took me 8 months or 5 months, 6 months to get to this. And so I came on this channel and started begging people, please subscribe, please subscribe. I have to get to 1,000 subscribers, otherwise I'll be demonetized. Now, I wasn't getting rich when I was doing it. I think at the time in December, I think I was paid $50 by YouTube. And in January, I was paid $150 by YouTube. But within a month, right up until the very end, I got to 900 subscribers right up to the deadline day. And then on the last day that I thought I had, I came on the air and stayed on the air for, I think it was 4 hours without getting off the air. I said, I'm not getting off the air until I have 1,000 subscribers. This is the 1,000 subscriber marathon pledge drive to help Bruce out. And all kinds of viewers who were with me at that early time contacted their friends with emails and said, go to YouTube and subscribe to this guy. Don't ask me any questions. Just do it. Just do it. Help him out. Help him out. And I got to 1,010 subscribers in 4 hours. And I thought I had made it. I thanked everybody. And 48 hours later, I got an email saying, sorry, you only had 925 subscribers. You needed 1,000 subscribers. When you break 1,000 subscribers, you will be in the queue to be considered to be monetized. So I was cut off. And for February, half of February, I was paid, and it was $250. It was like a record amount of money that I hauled in. $50 in December, $150 in January, $250 in 2 weeks from February. I was so pissed off, so upset. There was nothing I could do about it. But the good news was my followers at that time, they knew all about it because every day I was alive. Every day I had gotten my 4,000 hours. I had now had 7,000 hours, and I was over 1,000 subscribers. People who were sending me donations. And so $5 here, $10 here, $3 here, $15 there, $5 there. And cobblestoning that together was more than what the advertising would have been. But it took until June of 2018 to become monetized. It took until June. It took 6 months, 5-6 months. And I was seething, as were millions of other YouTubers. We were so upset because many of us have been cut off. And we had long passed 1,000. I was at 1,800 subscribers by the time I got the approval. I was wondering, how long is this going to take? Like, I'm not going to stop. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to get this. And finally, it came through. But that was unbelievable. It was an unbelievable time. So Don has been so charitable to others. And when Tony and Don came up with the idea, why don't the three of us get together and do a live Q&A with our viewers? So that boosted all three of our channels simultaneously. My viewers found Don, Don's viewers found me, Tony's viewers found Don and me, and back and Tony. It went back and forth. It was a win-win-win. And I did a one-on-one session. I did several with Emma Latisse from England. And I told Emma back in 2018, I said, you, my dear, are going to become the #1 cruising YouTuber. You're going to be the #1 channel for YouTube for cruising. because you're the youngest of the three of us, of the three guys. You're easy to look at, and you're just a delight. And sure enough, she was working full time in the insurance business, doing YouTube part time, and Instagram part time, and others. And then within a year and a half, she quit her job, and she only does full time social media. So she has, I don't know, 300 plus thousand subscribers, and a real nice number. And so I'm very happy about that. Anyway, those are the days gone by. David, Don looks like a criminal. Tim, greetings from cold and dry Seattle. I'm in the house finally. Been off cruising. Did 7 last year, and I booked 7 for 2025. Precious Roy, great show tonight, Bruce. You remind me of a childhood friend of mine who had thick glasses and a microphallus. Keep it up. I have no idea what that means. Kate, I remember watching the Three Amigos. I remember that. Sylvia, I remember that show. You were asking people to subscribe, and that's when I subscribed. Sharon, was this February 2019? Yeah, 2000. I thought it was 2018. Because I had 150 subscribers on Christmas Day. I know exactly who number 150 is, a friend of mine. By the time January rolled around, the first week of January, I was at 225. And then they dropped the bomb. That was YouTube creators. Remember that day, all of us small creators. And there were 100 million of us. We were dropped a nuclear bomb onto us without any warning whatsoever. You're going to be demonetized unless you have 1,000 subscribers in a month from now and 1,000 watch time hours. We had a month. That was so brutal, and I tell you, I scrambled. But I will say, within a week, I got to 400. Within 2 weeks, I was at 550, 600. Within 3 weeks, I was at 800 subscribers. And in that last week, I was scrambling, and finally broke the 1,000. And like I said, 1,800 by June. And I think by the end of the year, I was at 8,000. And the next year, I was at 25,000 subscribers. And the year after, I had 50,000 subscribers. So the channel went out like that. It was crazy. Sharon, we found you just after that when Oasis of the Seas fell off the dry dock right before that Mediterranean cruise. Yes, that crane, that accident where the crane crashed on it. And oh my gosh, that was unbelievable. Yeah, I remember that. I remember those days. And then, of course, COVID came, and that just obliterated all kinds of YouTubers, especially travel YouTubers. And it just destroyed my channel. I mean, our views just collapsed. I had nothing to talk about. After a week of talking about COVID, what do you talk about now? And then every cruise was canceled. All of our group cruises we had pre-booked, they were all canceled, everything done. Oh, it was devastating. It was just devastating. Thank you, everybody. Christopher, great story, Bruce. This is the kind of content I subscribe for. It puts me immediately to sleep. There you go. Ken, hi, Bruce and Jen. Good show from Jane. Thank you so very much. I do the best I can with what little I have. In any event, pretty outraged today for Don Terrace. I don't know what's going to happen. We'll be following this story. And I know Don will keep us posted. I just am amazed. Unbelievable. Again, thank you all for joining me today. Thank you for the thumbs ups today. If you were able to find that button for us, so much appreciated. We now have a total of 29 and counting thumbs ups. Fantastic. Have a great week, everybody, this week. We'll talk to you next Monday and keep you posted. Stay warm if you're out east, of course, in the eastern U.S. and Canada. Stay warm out there. We'll attempt to survive the harsh, brutal winter here in Rancho Mirage, California. We'll do the best we can. Right now, I'll show you what it looks like outside. Give you an idea of what it really looks like outside now. It looks kind of like that. That's kind of a little more accurate now. Mind you, maybe not quite so purpley, but let me get out of the way there. Let you see that shot. There you go. That's kind of what it looks like out there. That's looking west at Mount San Jacinto. That's that mountain right there. There it is. That mountain right there is 10,000 feet tall. It's the fastest growing mountain in the world. It is going up an inch a year. That mountain is being pushed up by tectonic plates underneath us. and that mountain is growing by an inch a year. No other mountain grows that fast. Unbelievable. But what can I say? It is what it is. Thank you, everybody. Sylvia, thank you, Bruce. Appreciate you. It's a great show. David Perkins, I got about 110 subscribers. Aren't you? Is that happy as a bird? You got a full feeder. Again, I don't know what you mean by that. Are you happy or sad or angry or no? Sharon, have a great week. Robert, good night, Uncle Bruce. See you tomorrow morning. You got it. We'll see you on my other channel, Stock Market with Bruce. Very pretty, says Sylvia. David Perkins, beautiful. Kid, great video. Love Palm Springs. By the way, microphallus means you have a small peepee. Well, thank you very much for that weird, strange comment. But coming from some, being in California, we have to tolerate a lot of weird and strange comments. So, it is what it is. In any event, I try to keep it PG rated, folks, but some of these viewers just don't want to do it. Anyway, thank you all for being with us tonight. Have a wonderful rest of your week and stay warm. Keep cheering your favorite NFL teams as we get down to the final two. Thank you again for your thumbs ups, and we'll catch you here next Monday. If the power stays on and everything works out, we'll be here again, and we'll talk about some more stories about travel. How about that? Thank you all. Have a wonderful weekend, and thank you for your support. All the best to all of you. Goodbye from Rancho Mirage. Okay, thank you so much. Appreciate it all. Let's go. Let's do that. There we go. Okay, see you later, everybody. Bye for now.